Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spirit and Soul Sundays or Mondays for those of you in the future. Hi, Peter. So good to see you, my friend. I'm loving our little conversation through email. Hi, Crystal. Welcome. Hello to you. Hi, Nancy. Good to see you. Crystal, I don't recognize your name. Are you new to my lives? Hey, Marla. Good to see you again. How did you enjoy Saturday's live, Marla, last night? Yes, you're new. Welcome, Crystal. Where are you from? We have friends all over the world who come to my lives, which is one reason I love Insight Timer so much. North Carolina, very cool. Welcome, welcome then. I am not settled on this virtual background. Let's see. It's very cosmic. Let's try that one. So how's everybody today? We're going to wait for a few people to get in before we get into our journey. I don't like this one as much as the last one. Oh, here's one of my favorites. Wow, look at that. Woo, that one's really cosmic. I've been doing a lot of creative stuff the last few days, so I'm in a, what would I call it? A very heavy, strong visual mode. Hey Kelsey, how are you? Welcome to live. Yeah, I like this one too, Peter. Trying to see if it's the right vibe for tonight, though. This one's good too. Ooh, maybe that one. I'm just having fun, guys. How's everybody? What's going on? Kelsey says she's good. Thank you. Good to be here. I'm glad to have you here, my dear. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm happy to be here as well. Happy Sunday or Monday morning if you're a friend in the future like PETA. Wow, this one has a lot of colors in it. Not sure about the movement part. Something calming and soothing. Been making a lot of digital pictures for one of my websites and redoing the intros for my videos. Let's see. What do we want? We'll go with Peter's choice. It's all about spirits and souls today, anyways. So if this is your first time, like Crystal, welcome. This is what I call Spirit and Soul Sundays. I have other lives where I offer guidance, but what this live is about is we go on a journey into ourselves, into our energy, into our hearts, and I let you guys pick whether that journey is going to be one to meet our spirit guides, which is what I call spirit walk, or one to go meet a lost soul fragment, which I call a soul journey. Um, this is one of my favorite lives. I think I want to do it more often, but Sunday is not. Every Sunday hasn't been a good rhythm for me. I need Sundays off every once in a while, so I have to figure out when to fit that in. Maybe Spirit and Soul Saturdays. Maybe it'll become Spirit and Soul Saturdays. That feels like that might be a good one. Anyways, yeah, it's a lovely time, and welcome aboard. We never know what kind of journey we're going to end up going on. I will let you guys decide between spirit and soul, and then we'll see what happens, and we'll see what kind of information, messages. Usually there's a lot of love going on. So that is what we are going to be doing today. Peter, I love this one too, but this one doesn't feel right for tonight. I'm sorry, friends. I am being a typical Pisces and wishy-washy about my virtual background. I think I'll just go back to this one. This is one of the original ones. Ah, that feels nice and soothing. Me too, Marla. This one is so gentle. And my heart is feeling tender and gentle. Hi Linda, welcome. Yeah, for my video intro, I like movements, but for my live streams, I like a little bit of movement, but not where it feels like we're going down a corridor. It just feels weird. So this one's really nice. Thank you, Linda. Marty's been in bed all day. She's not well, my friends. Last night I was sharing with my family via text and told them what was going on, how she had some blood work done this week, and I was looking at her numbers, and I'm not very medical. I'm not really, I mean, I like science, but I don't I don't bother to try and learn a lot of medical stuff, but for some reason I wanted to know what each test was about, like at least what area of the body it was trying to test. And her numbers for her blood cells and her liver numbers were like way off their normals. There was one that was 800 plus 800 higher than the top number that's normal. It was like 840 and the normal is 38. Like that was a liver number. So she's been in bed all day, and so I was texting my family last night and just letting them know, this is probably Marty's worst day. And then I had this weird, well, it's not so weird, unexpected. I wasn't quite prepared for it, but this spike in anxiety for about 20 minutes. I suddenly started worrying about my finances and worrying about needing to move, and I just got really scared really quickly. And then kind of calmed down, and I remembered how much I love her, and I remembered how much love is an important part of my life, and that's really the most important thing. And I remembered something a friend said the other night about the flow of the universe, the flow of abundance. And then I calmed down. So yeah, I as you guys know, I'm very, very intuitive, and last night I felt like she might only have another month or two left. For those that don't know, in the beginning of February, well, back up a little. For the last 12 years, I've been living with this my mom's best friend. Her name is Marty, and um in the beginning of February, she was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, which had already spread to her liver and bones. So yeah. So we're going through that. This is not the first time that I have helped elderly people or helped anybody make their passing. And as I said last night, I'm weird because I'm not scared of death, and I'm not scared of that for me or other people. Actually celebrate it and appreciate it as an important part of life. And a lot of that is a lot of my celebration and appreciation for it, not the fear, not the lack of fear, but a lot of the celebration and appreciation of it came from being with my mama for 3 months while she passed in hospice. So yeah, my intuition on this is not 100%, but it feels pretty strong that we've turned a corner and are heading towards the end. So it's hard. It's hard, but it's okay. And that's the reality of life. Sometimes things are hard, sometimes they're great. I know that I am not a victim of circumstances. I'm not a victim of Marty's death or my scenario of needing to move. And I'm not a victim of my emotions either. So I know that I retain all the power that God gave me and all the love of the universe. So I appreciate you guys asking. Well, what did I miss while I? Yeah, thanks, Kelsey and Linda. Yeah, I mean, she's resting all day today, but the food's down. She had like maybe one or two things to eat yesterday. Thank you, Peter. Says healing love to her and much relief. You'll be looked after, Greg. Yeah, I know. I mean, my being here with her 12 years ago, I had nowhere to live. I was at the height or the depths of a complete financial collapse. I'd lost my home, my car, my cell phone. I still don't have a cell phone. Um, and uh, and then my mama took ill, and the family flew me home, and I got to live at the hospice with her, and she set up living here with Marty. So I mean, this is an important part of my story, friends, not because of the challenge, but because of how beautifully the universe has taken care of me. And if it does take care of me this beautifully, then it still will, and it takes care of you. I mean, and look at the abundance. I've been able to live here rent free for 12 years while I've gone through my own internal dark night of the soul and then figuring out, wow, I have this wild gift and maybe I can do something with it. And here we are, several months later. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate you sending the love. Oh, thanks, Jen. Really appreciate it. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Yeah, thanks for your prayers and love. I really, really, really appreciate it. Hello, Thomas, as I like to say. Thomas. Hello, hello. Hi, Catherine. Yeah, you're welcome. Thresholds. I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool. I like thresholds. Big green heart to me. Thank you, Thomas. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Nancy. And just so you guys know, it's with a Y. I know there's more than one spelling. Where does the one with the I come from? I'm wanting to say that's German or Dutch or Norwegian or something. Anyways, wow, look at 28 people here. Thank you so much, guys. I didn't expect to go off on that, but as you know, I have no qualm sharing how I'm feeling about things, which is something I encourage everybody. Oh, thanks, Crystal. Crystal says, I truly appreciate your vulnerability. This is a hard and holy season. Yes, but it's so precious. It's so precious. Death, when we face death, ours or somebody else's, with grace and with love, there's such a preciousness in it, my friends. There's so much beauty in it as well, because I mean, really depends on what you believe, right? I don't believe that there's anything such as loss. Yes, we feel the loss in the form of grief and sadness and missing people, but there isn't really such a thing as the physical loss, right? When my mama passed, we'd been estranged for 15 years to that point. So those are like when she was in hospice. I was the first time I'd seen her in 15 years was coming to stay with her in hospice. But when she passed, I knew that we'd have a better relationship than ever because she wasn't gone. In fact, she was free. She was, unless she chose to reincarnate again, and then she's back in the cycle, which is fine. Everyone has that right to choose that. But she was free. She was free of all the fears that she had that she'd carried up almost to the last minute, right? And I just knew then that her beautiful soul, she was one of the most important teachers in my life of love because she was also an example of how not to love. I mean, she was there was a lot of time in my mom's life where she was unconditionally loving. So she was really my first example of unconditional love. And then there were a lot of times when she was living from fear and paranoia, honestly, at some moments. So even in that, she was an example of love for me. So in her passing, I just felt like all that beautiful love that she was an example of, um, went into back to source, back to be one with the universe. And since I love the universe and I know the universe loves me, I can connect with her anytime I want. So Marty Feldman. Yeah, Marty Feldman, I think, was a guy, though. I'm not sure. I do, Linda. You're right. Linda says I need support too, and I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, goodness gracious. Hello, Liz. Nice to see you from Toronto, Canada, across the small pond of Ontario Lake. Thank you, Kelsey. Yeah. I'm very appreciative for what I've learned from my dying parents and my dying friends. So, how did I get estranged? Thomas says. You don't have to answer. We're here for you like you are for us. Oh, thanks, Thomas. Yeah, I have, you know what? I have no problem talking about my story of any part of it. Anytime you guys have a question about anything, any topic at all. Speaking of topics, I've outlined, made the outlines for 2 courses that I am going to be creating in May. So look forward to some courses from me. First time ever. I'm trying my hand at it. I really like doing group things. So hopefully the course will feel like a group thing. The I've enjoyed making all my meditation tracks, and there's a couple that I just really love, but they always feel like, I know I'm reaching more than one person, but they always feel like a kind of a one-on-one sort of thing. But I'm hoping the course feels more like a group thing. Um, Michael says, we're all here together to share our love, strength, and peace to Marty and for you too. Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate it. By the way, thanks for following me last night, Michael. I really like that. Hi, Mira. Hello, good to see you. Yeah, so how I became estranged. I'm trying to figure out if I can make it a long or short story. I mean, a short story because I want to do the journeys with you guys. I'm really excited about the journeys today. Um, Thomas, there's probably multiple levels. At first, I was very angry at my mom for a long time because of her codependency and her hiding her alcoholism. But then I let that go, and all that was really left was that the poor woman suffered a lot, and it took me a long time. She suffered in a way like when she left and then eventually divorced my dad. Um, the poor woman didn't really know who she was, right? And it took me a long time to have compassion for that with her. But she never. It's very weird, you know. I've lived a lots of places in the country and in the world as well, and my longest time was out in California. I'm in Rochester, New York. And neither of my parents, even though I had an open invitation, and neither of them ever came to visit me, but they would always sort of pull on the guilt strings. Not that I succumbed, but they would. My mom was very good at trying to pull the guilt strings for having me come home. And I just never wanted to come home, which is here in Rochester. Ironic that I ended up coming home and now I've been here for 12 years, but I've never really wanted to stay. So I plan on going somewhere else when I move. But yeah, there was just this weird dynamic that I just needed to stay away from my own serenity and for my own health. And eventually, my mom was also kind of secretive. She never really revealed I felt like she was never honest with us kids about why she left and divorced our father, even though we knew that was a good choice. And um, there were just things that she would keep secret from us. And so I never felt that I don't know, the connection just wasn't there, right? Um, but that started to restore itself maybe 5 or 6 years before she passed. I still never wanted to come home. But then when I came home to be with her as she was dying, it was lovely. There wasn't any of the relationship gunk or anything in the way. It was really, really precious. I'd get up in the morning and come upstairs and say, good morning, mama. And see how she was doing. And then we would just sit and I would just work on my laptop and she would just sit in the hospice bed. And sometimes she'd sleep all afternoon like Marty's doing right now. And I just would be with her. And it was probably the most precious, amazing experience I've ever had in my life. It really taught me, it really opened up the door to how important just being present is. So that's a long answer, Thomas. I hope you liked it. Oh, Liz is so sweet. To Greg and everyone else in the room here going through difficult or sad feelings, emotions, thoughts, experiences, including physically, I'm sending you energetic healing vibes along with my love, a virtual hug. Thank you, Liz. I accept that. And I'm holding each and all of you in my heart, mind, spirit, and soul. Liz is just got such a big heart, doesn't she? Very, very Atlanta. Oh, Kelsey, you want me to move to Atlanta? Are you inviting me to come to Atlanta? I've never had a desire to move to Atlanta. I don't know a lot about it. All right, my friends, let's go on a journey. You're welcome, Thomas. Thank you for asking. That resonates for you too. My kumquat makes me feel guilty. What's a kumquat? Your mom. Oh, your mom. Autocorrect for the win, right? Autocorrect is just got the weirdest sense of humor. Yeah. You know, I had a hard time with my dad too, and when I was growing up. What turned that around was I don't even remember when this was, years ago now. Believe it or not, I'm 60. But he had heart replacement surgery, and I think I was living in San Francisco, and I flew out to. He lived in the middle of Massachusetts. I flew out to that area. And I went to see him in the hospital, and the first time ever in my life, I was watching and I was seeing how vulnerable my father was. He was never vulnerable. He was always a stoic. He was always critical. He was always, just I could feel as I grew spiritually, I could feel the walls that he had up around his heart that he just couldn't, he had no tools to face his internal pain, right? And this is why moving through things is so important, and just being present with every emotion, every feeling, every sensation has just become so important in my life. And here I was standing, him sleeping in the hospital bed, recovering from getting a valve replacement, and any anger or any resentment or anything at all that I had ever had towards him just washed away in that moment. And I realized how much I loved him. And I was like, look how vulnerable he is. Look how vulnerable he is. Like, he could have died in the surgery. That's my dad. How can I not love him? And for the first time ever, I had this sweetness in my heart for him. And my brother and sister continued to struggle with him in their relationship with him over the years. But at that moment, I just saw him in a whole new light. I saw him as the universe sees him, as this precious child, who was filled with pain and didn't know how. He didn't have the tools. He didn't have insight timer. He didn't have ways to learn about how to feel his emotions, how to process them, how to move with them, how to move through them, right? He didn't have that. He was a God-fearing man. He was very religious, but he just didn't have those skills that are available to us now. Yeah. Kumquat is a tiny citrus fruit. Yeah, I thought so, but I was wondering why the fruit made Thomas guilty, but it was mum or a. All right, my friends. Oh, goodness. Well, thanks for listening. Oh, my God. I didn't expect to have all that sharing. Yeah, you're welcome, Kelsey. I appreciate you guys so much. All righty. Let's see. Let's drop in and figure out. It's voting time. That's what it is. Is anyone new? Anyone else new who's come in? 48 people now. Please raise your hands. Feel free to say hi. Hey, Chloe, welcome to you. My name's Greg. I do spiritual coaching. Well, actually, what do I say? Sacred energy guide. That's what I do. So my whole thing is about love. So I offer loving guidance and sacred energy journeys. And sacred energy journeys is what we're going to do today. My other lives are about loving guidance. Hello, welcome. Yeah, so today, Spirit and Soul Sundays, you guys are going to, in a short moment, going to close your eyes and tap into your intuition with a little bit of guidance from me. And we are going to allow to bubble up either the words spirit or soul. And this will be how you guys choose which kind of journey we go on today. If the word is spirit, if that ends up being the winning vote, then we're going to go on what I call a spirit walk. We're going to go into our hearts and we are going to go on a journey to meet our spirit guides. If soul is the winner, then we're going to go into our hearts and we're going to go on a journey to meet a lost fragment of our soul. And just so that you know my philosophy or belief around this, um, this is a form, the soul journeys are wonderful. The we can meet the soul and just be present with it. It might want to reintegrate. We don't know. We let it tell us what it needs or what we want to do in that moment. But it's basically a form of shadow work, but I don't view it necessarily as shadow because in my viewpoint and way of looking at it, when traumatic or difficult moments occur, um, when the shadow forms and whatnot, I like to think of it as a lost soul fragment that on some deep level, we knew that in that moment, we were not ready or capable of facing that event or that happening or those feelings. And so we tucked that soul fragment away inside of us in our energy for safekeeping, for a rainy day, so to speak, so that when we were older, wiser, more mature, had grown spiritually, basically when we were just ready, we could meet with it and learn from it and then hopefully reintegrate it. So that's what a soul journey is. They're both super fun for me, and I know they are for a bunch of you. Anyways, hey, Sukhdev, let's close our eyes. As we close our eyes, and gently settle into our bodies in this moment, my friends and fellow seekers. Let's all turn our beautiful, loving hearts for a moment to my friend Marty and just surround her in your love. Just picture her being perfectly supported and guided by the universe, by her own concept of the divine. And then bring that love back inside of yourself, my friends, and hold it in your heart space. We can hold so much love in our hearts. It's important to remember that we hold that love for ourselves as well. For we are just as important, if not more so, than anybody else in our lives. More so because it's our life that we are living, not others. And just energetically hug your very own heart. Thank it for its capacity to feel love, for its ability to hold its different characteristics and attributes. The heart can be both tender and strong at the same time as it's being open and closed, or empty and full, broken and whole, sad and happy. And it is through our heart that is the most powerful way of connecting with Source, with the universe, with the divine. In Spirit, we ask that you infuse our heart with your divine love and open our minds to your divine wisdom today as we prepare to go on an energetic journey. And as you are cherishing and appreciating your heart, my friends, allow to bubble forth either the word spirit or the word soul or any word or phrase that comes up for you. Allow your intuition and your own sacred energy to inform you what you are needing most today. If nothing comes up, it means you're open either way. If a word comes up like I need to forgive myself, that would be a soul journey. And when you have your word, either spirit or soul, type it in chat and let the voting begin. 3 for soul. 4 for soul. 5 for soul. 6 for soul. 7. Anybody can vote. Everybody can vote. I encourage everybody to tap into their intuition and put their vote in the virtual background hat. Wow, we're doing 9. We got 1 for spirit from Judy. There is no right or wrong about this, my friends. It just is. Marla wants soul. We're up to 10. 1 versus 10, 2 and 10. By the way, this I'm counting in sign language. It's an old habit from teaching deaf kids. Spirit times 8. Ruben's wanting spirit to get a nudge. That was funny, Ruben. I like that. Do, 10 or 3. We'll take a moment for last votes, my friends. Last call for voting. I like looking at your guys' pictures as they fly by at the bottom of my screen. All right, soul journey it is. Woo, Liz, that was a long one there. Minor novel. What do you got for us? You always have such great stuff for us. Aw. Yes, please treat yourself with the loving kindness and compassion that you treat others because caregivers need support too. Thanks, Liz. I know you understand. All right, my friends, close your eyes. Place your left hand on your beautiful heart chakra and your right hand over it. Just begin to take deep, deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Universe, we call on your support today to lead us on our journey to meet a lost fragment of our very own soul. May our journey be filled with love and presence and kindness. With each new breath, my friends, See how deeply you can make the inhale and how deeply you can do the exhale. Each breath, drop deeper and deeper into your heart space. And allow your breath to return to what's normal and comfortable. And feel or picture yourself standing in a dark space, a completely blank canvas of a space. You feel the ground under your feet. But the rest of the details are covered in shroud. And as you become curious and desire to see what surrounds you, a beautiful will-o'-the-wisp floats down from above and hovers in front of your heart, lighting the path before you. It moves forward a smidge as though inviting you to do so as well. And as you begin to take one step at a time forward, you watch in wonder and amazement as this little wisp of light darts around the surroundings, always moving a bit forward on the path. Take a good look down at where your feet are placing themselves. You're on some sort of a path. It's clearly defined. Take a good long look as you walk. What is the path made out of? Is it a dirt path? Is it grass? Is it paved stone? Is it cement? Perhaps you're walking on water or just on air. Just drink it in, feel the solidity and the support, the stability of the path with each step that you take as you move forward, following this beautiful wisp of light. And begin to become curious, the witness, the observer of the surroundings around you, and watch how they slowly and gradually unfold with each step you take. Maybe there's an object on the right. You see maybe a critter or a bird or a being on the left. And with each step, the scene unfolds, revealing more and more of where you are journeying. Make note of every detail you can in this space, my friends, for this is a sacred space deep within you, a place that you can go anytime to meet a soul fragment or to meet with your spirit guides. And in the distance, you notice a soft light. It's a strong light, though, because from this distance, you can see it very clearly. And the little wisp of white light darts forward to join it, for that is where the little wisp came from. And this beautiful light source is big. It is calling you forward. And you are eager to go and meet it. And as you approach, you begin to note exactly what this light source is. Perhaps it's a bonfire. Perhaps it's a barrel full of fire. Or maybe it is a natural light source or an electric one. Just make note of what this light source is. It is glowing warm and strong, and it is lighting up a wide area around itself. And in that moment, you notice a very comfortable looking place to sit. Take note of what the seating is like. Perhaps it's a cushion with beautiful embroidery. Perhaps it's a rock or a stone that is perfectly suited and comfortable for seating. Maybe it's a log or an actual chair, couch. Just take note of what it is, my friends. There's several of them around this beautiful light source. And just pick whichever one you want and gently lower yourself down into the seat and feel the comfort, the support. You have a distinct sense of having arrived here at your sacred place, a very, very special place. And you feel all around you the safety, the security, and the love. And stare into the light source, appreciating, relishing, and cherishing this moment, this safe place in your heart that you can visit anytime you want. And as you stare into the light source, you gradually become aware that you're not alone here. There is a piece of you hiding in the darkness just outside the line of the light. You can feel its sensitivity, its trepidation for coming into the light. You hear it with a soft voice speak, "Who's there?" And you respond, "It's just me. I've come to visit with you." "What do you want?" it says. You hear the fear in its voice. "I just want to be with you," you say. "I'm just here to visit. Nothing else. I don't want anything from you." "How can I be sure?" "Well," you say, "I'll just sit here and you can decide whether you want to come into the light or not. I welcome you to join me at these seats. They're very cozy." Your little soul fragment puts a toe into the light just to test the waters. And when nothing happens, it steps a little bit into the light and you begin to get a look at it. It stops and sits down for a moment and it just sort of looks in your direction as you look in its direction. Take a good long look, my friends. See what this soul fragment is. Well, how do they look? Really be the witness of it. Be present with it and observe. Is it made of stardust? Or is it perhaps shrouded in mist? Does it have a human form? Or is it more of a energy? Perhaps it's taking an unexpected shape or form in representation of the moment at which it became a lost fragment. Whatever it is, just continue to be absolutely present with it, my friends. The witness and the observer. And feel an amazing amount of love and compassion for this fragment. It has been tucked away in your very being for many, many years. It's been alone, hiding and safe, but alone. You're welcome to come forward and join me at the seats if you wish, you say. It's completely up to you. The soul fragment can feel the love in your eyes and the sincerity of your invitation. It stands up from where it was sitting on the ground and gently comes forward, finds one of the comfortable seats nearby you, and it gently sits down. You can see it much more clearly now, my friends. You see it in all its beautiful glory. What is this lost soul fragment? What do you feel inside of it? When did it get stored away? It looks at you with its somewhat familiar face. Why are you here? Where have you been? Hear the longing in its voice and how lonely it's been. I've come to meet you. I'm sorry I couldn't come sooner, but I've been busy growing. Growing, it says? And then you explain to it how you needed time. You needed time so that you would be ready and capable of visiting with it, of learning from it. And you ask it, do you have anything you want to share with me? Oh, yes, I have so much I want to share with you. And just hold space for it, my friends, and let it share. Let it tell you all about itself, how or when it was formed, how long it's been there. Allow it to express everything it hasn't been able to share to anyone because it's been alone all these years. And as it shares, you sense that you and it are not alone, that all of your guides are surrounding the two of you. They're not in the circle of light with you, but they're just on the outskirts, loving and supporting you and encouraging this moment. No matter how painful or how sad or how difficult it is to be and meet and visit with this soul fragment, you have the support of the divine. And they are holding a space of presence for you so that you can hold a space of presence for your lost soul fragment. And just listen, my friends. Listen to the sweet, precious voice of your lost soul fragment and allow it to share its entire story. And when it pauses, just look right at it with as much love and as much emotion as you have currently feeling, and just say, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I really appreciate you. And your soul fragment begins to shine along its edges. A bright, beautiful light. It doesn't hurt the eyes, but it's as though all the veil, all the darkness is being shown. No, what is it? All the light is shining around the darkness and the veil across its entire outline. It's been hiding in the dark so long. This light is so bright. Thank you for listening, it says. Really glad you came to see me. And then, my friends, if you are ready and willing, you can invite it to stay with you. If you're not ready or willing for that, that's okay. You are ready. You don't even need to speak it. You can just offer that invitation and watch and see what transpires. See how that soul fragment transforms. If you're not ready to invite it to come with you, then just reassure it that it can stay here by the fire as long as it wants. And all it has to do is call out for you, and you will come and visit again. It's very important that you impart to it that it is no longer alone, and that you will always be here for it whenever it is ready. If you have invited it in, my friends, watch as it shape shifts and transforms. Watch what it does, my friends. Perhaps it merges with the light source. Perhaps it comes to hug you and melts into your heart, and very spirit absorbing it back into you. Whatever it does, however it moves or transforms or whatever transpires, my friends, feel a sense of lightness for having reintegrated a piece of yourself. Having welcomed it, having been present with it fully, and then welcoming it back into your energy. Of course, it's never really been apart from you, but now it's joined again with you in a wholeness that you've never had. Just take in this scenery. This beautiful moment surrounded by your guides, having met your soul fragment, having basked in the warmth and the glow of this beautiful light source. As you slowly become aware that it is time to return, gently and carefully stand up and just thank this beautiful sacred space from the bottom of your heart. Thank it for holding the space for this meeting. And turn and begin walking back on the path from whence we came. There's a lightness in your step, a lightness in your heart, my friends. And as you walk back and the light slowly fades, begin to become aware of your body again. Make note of any places that might need a little bit of a stretch, maybe a little shake. Relax any part of your body that needs a little loving attention. And slowly and gently come back to the now, come back to the here, come back to this moment. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Welcome back, my friends, from your soul journey. Welcome to anyone who's joined while we were on the journey. Maribel, thank you so much for your donation. I really deeply appreciate it in my heart. I honor and appreciate that exchange and flow of abundance. Thank you. Oh, PETA says it was divine and delicious. My friends, just bask in this for a moment. You are welcome to share if you feel so called to. I love hearing about your journeys and any messages you got, or what your beautiful little lost soul fragment meant or was or told you. That was precious. We went somewhere. I love that. You're welcome, Maribel. Thanks for the heart, Christina. Anyone care to share? We're still soaking it up. That is the feeling. Very precious, Peter says. Nicole says, I met a part and felt like I may drift off the sleep now. Very relaxed. Yes, me too. I'm very relaxed. What was your part, Nicole? Did it share with you? You're welcome, Allison. If this was difficult for you, if you're not a visual person or even struggle with the feeling and the sensing of it, that's okay. I hope that you still were able to drop into the relaxation and the love. Nancy said, very powerful. Found my lost soul fragment of love and playfulness. Wow, Nance. Felt a lot of chills. Good feeling, emotional. Ah, chills, yes. Leanne experienced contentment, peace, and stillness. Christina met a soul fragment of hope. I feel light and hopeful and a rainbow. Yay, Christina. I love that for you. Liz says, thank you, Greg, for creating and doing another live event and your gift to people in the room here. You're welcome, Liz. Catherine dozed off. My friends, never judge dozing off during a meditation. That is my best meditation advice to you, because I call those napitations, and it means your body really needed it, your body and your spirit. Catherine dozed off. Met my inner child, needed some attention. Yes, wonderful. Mm. Does anyone, has anyone come out of this and kind of feels that they have a question about it, something they're not sure of what they experienced? You looking for any clarification? Christina, thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate it. I honor the flow of abundance and the cycle back from you to me. Thank you. Yeah, if you have, I don't, if you have any questions about what you just experienced, if you need any help with that, please do let me know. Juju says, my inner child smiled at me while I cried and cried. Oh, Juju. Yeah, wow, I can feel you in that space, my friend. Oh, yeah, I'm like right there with you right now. Wow. Mm, she has so much love for you. She really, really appreciated that you came to visit her. Oh my God, she's just like bowled over with appreciation. Mm. God, she really, really will love spending time with you. Yeah, and she wants to do it again. Mm, yeah, beautiful. Wow. I've never done that before. Thanks for letting me experience that with you right in that moment. Whew, cool. Nicole, the place I went seemed to be in France. Love France. Possibly related to a past life, though it was a present life, 20 something part that came to me. Ooh, Nicole, did they share anything with you? My friends, when I take you on these journeys, um, somebody wants to ask, is it okay if I see something the own way I see it, whatever? And I totally encourage that. It doesn't, like, I'm just here to guide. What you take in and what you see is your own intuition, your own spirit working with you, your own sacred energy. So Thomas is a unicorn, tears, and taking it in. Wow. Your lost soul fragment was a unicorn. Thomas, I'm feeling like that is profoundly significant. Perhaps I'm getting a message to look up what unicorns symbolize, or maybe you already have a beautiful connection with them, but there's something about the energy they hold and symbolize as being available to you now for reintegration if you want. Nicole says, yes, it was about giving up, becoming apathetic. Oh, the other kind, that kind of giving up. Yeah. Mm. It's fascinating because years ago, when I was struggling, the beginning of my financial collapse, I was really struggling, and I knew that I needed to surrender to the universe what all the outcomes, but it was so hard for me to surrender. It was so tied in mentally to the results at the time. And I was just basically, I was really, really afraid of how my life was going at that moment. And there was this moment of insight in which I realized I didn't really understand surrender. And as I like to do sometimes, I went and I looked up the word origin, the origin of the word, the etymology, as they say. I find looking up the origins of words, particularly words that keep coming to mind or that or that are like a topic for me. I find that looking up the origin is can be very enlightening. Not always. Sometimes the origin is just like, well, it means what it means. But in this case, it was the combination of sir and render. And sir meant up or above, and render meant to give. And of course, having had a technology background up to that point, render is also the word that is used when you're making the final file, when you're putting a video together or you're rendering an audio file. And so to me, render has a very creative, a make. Yeah, render means to make or give. And so to me, it has a life force. It has creativity to it. It has the creation of it. So I had this sudden insight that as I was reading the origins, it was not to give up, like fly the white flag or be apathetic, but to actually give it up to the universe, to literally give it to the universe, to make it, well, not necessarily make it, but yeah, the give. And that just really comforted me. The thought that when I'm letting go, when I'm surrendering, it's not into an emptiness, it's not into a nothingness. It's actually to the divine. And now, of course, I mean, back then I used to say God. Now I say universe, spirit, source, divine, whatever. But it's a similar idea. Yeah, Peter says, Gary, I was thinking about you, and here you are. Hello, Gary. Crystal said, I traveled in 1946. I met myself. I was 68 years old. Beautiful reunion. Wow. That sounds cool. How'd you know it was 1946? That's very specific. I love that. Nicole's been working on learning to surrender as well. Yeah, you asked. Okay. Great idea, Crystal. I never thought of that. I love that for you. Yes, surrender, Nicole. It's what else do I want to say about surrender? Well, I'll let my guides talk. They're saying that surrender is an integral skill in the spiritual journey. And it's scary to surrender because the mind sees surrender as giving everything away and not having any more, and that notion of giving it up to the emptiness, to the nothingness. And this really scares the mind. This makes the mind go into probably one of its worst panic attacks. And I'm not saying we have the panic attack itself, but the mind is panicking. And it just the very notion of that for the mind is just utter chaos, right? But for the soul, the surrender is an important piece for making that reconnection to spirit, to the divine. We do what we're surrendering, really. We're surrendering so many different things. They're saying that we're surrendering the illusion of separation. We're surrendering the illusion of control. We're surrendering the illusion that we need to figure everything out ourselves. The illusion that we're alone, that we're the only one, that the sole burden is on our shoulders, that we're the only one that can do, make, force, whatever. And that's just so not true. In fact, we become more powerful and more aware of how much power we really have when we surrender, and when we surrender to a point where we're reestablishing that connection with source. Let's see what else they're saying. They're equating the moment of surrender like when you lower yourself into the most delicious pool of water or bubble bath, right? Maybe into a hot spring, or just the most soothing experience possible. This is the true beauty of surrender, because when we're not surrendering and then nothing, we're surrendering and we're letting the universe guide us. We're surrendering and we're letting the universe knock our socks off, maybe in relation to a dream. We're surrendering and then we're opening at the same time, right? When you're sliding into I don't take baths, but I know how beautiful I have before, but not usually. But like a hot spring, oh my God, that or like when you're getting in bed and you're just sort of sliding in bed and you are so beautifully tired, you're so perfectly tired that that very moment of getting in bed just feels like the most relaxing thing ever, right? And that's it. Think of that and how that feels, and that's the relaxing, that's the letting go, that's this opening that we don't realize is possible with surrender, right? Yeah. Okay, that's what they had to say about it. Liz says, I found to the powerful, emotional with tears, with connecting with my little younger Liz and my adult Liz, speaking to each with support, compassion, empathy, and love with the words of each of us have longed to hear. Yes, awesome, amazing, Liz. Kelsey, ooh, goodness, let's see. I felt an underwater path and this feeling of pressure, a soft request of stillness, hold in the glow, and to stop searching but see, and then felt playfulness, dolphins and orcas and schools of fish. I saw my young, pure, yet mischievous girl. She smiled too. I felt guilt and tears. I had not noticed her, and then popped into the light. It washed away. We giggled, and I remembered playing in the pool with my cousins, having tea parties at the bottom of the pool and looking up at the sun above. Wow, Kelsey, thank you for sharing your very soul and essence with us. That is so beautiful. Yeah. Kelsey said, I wasn't going to search, but Greg mentioned surrender, and I felt that. I didn't realize. Yeah. Yeah. Liz also talks about the words of compassion, support, empathy, and love that I need and desire to hear from more people in my life, especially physically. Yes, Liz. Yes. If we can tap into more in the areas and where we truly desire the universe to support us and then open ourselves to that support, right? Then really that is a path to the heart and a path to miracles. Juju said, I left the path and soared through the sorry, I bought a new mouth today. I'm breaking it in. Fluffy clouds. I came back down, and while sitting on a beach, the thing that started to emerge was a ball of cotton. Then it turned into a stuffed doll, my inner child. She smiled at me while I cried. I have never done a meditation like this before, so I don't know what to make of this. My mind is open to new things for healing. Awesome, Juju. Well, this is why I call these journeys, because I believe that we truly go somewhere energetically, and that my gift is to guide you guys on a journey so you can have an experience, not just to have a meditation, but to actually experience a part of yourself, your sacred energy. And hopefully, if you need healing, heal. Sometimes the energy resolves in whatever way it wants. Maybe it's healing, maybe it's relaxation, maybe it's a new awareness, maybe it's new openness, maybe it's surrender. The reason I love working with energy is because it is so pure, it is so in the moment, and it's so now. So, Juju, yes, amazing. Yeah, I'm so glad for you. Hey, Violet, welcome, my dear friend. Good to see you. Kelsey wasn't going to search. I get it. You weren't going to share. No worries. I am the worst typer on my mobile phone. Yeah, I really loved what Juju shared too, Kelsey. That was really beautiful. Mary says the pure joy part of myself, childlike innocence that wants to give love, pure love to others. I hid it away as a child. An adult abused my trust. Oh, Mary. Yes, thank you for sharing. Wow. Oh, I'm so glad you could go meet this part of you. Oh, she is so full of appreciation for your meeting. Yes. Oh my God. So beautiful, Mary. Thank you. Yeah, Peta, very grateful for this sacred integration. Yay. Michael, let's see what you say. Surrendering is like going to the train station and jumping in the train to enjoy the journey, not going to the train station and examining every nut and bolt, trying to understand how the train works. I love that, Michael. And then missing the train ride instead of letting go of control by keeping away from the head mind, but coming from the heart mind. Yes. And therefore being in present moment. So then the blindfolds are removed. Yay. Very cool, Michael. Thank you for sharing your heart's wisdom. And then he says, as the point of power is in the present moment. Absolutely, Michael. The point of power is in the present moment and in the all that is. My friends, wow, you guys really, really went somewhere. I love it. Thank you so much for going on this journey today. Hi, Carolyn. First time to meet me. Oh, wonderful. Welcome to the live. Some of us arrived a bit late. Can you please share a brief update of what we missed? Oh, goodness. Yes. How about one better, Carolyn? I am recording this. I record all my lives unless I'm a bit of a dodo brain and forget to press the record button. But I am recording this right now. And when it's done, I'm going to put it up onto my YouTube. So I do that so that you guys can re-listen, or if you came in late and you want to actually experience the whole journey, you can just do it through the YouTube channel. Oh, Sovereign, hello, welcome to you. Yes, merci beaucoup. Oh no, how do you say it? Je vous en prie. Yes. Yeah, so the way you get to my YouTube channel or any of my things outside of Insight Timer is you go into Insight Timer, into my profile, and look for the About tab. On my mobile, it's on the right. And then you have to scroll all the way down, and that's where my link is. And that goes to everything that I'm doing outside of Insight Timer. Also has a link to Insight Timer. But all my stuff's there. Any way you want to contact me through there. Also, alternative forms of donation if you are on Apple and you are wanting to not deal with their scenario right now. But yeah, otherwise, just go to my profile and I invite you to follow. I love getting new followers. I'm developing 2 courses. Well, I've outlined 2 courses. One is going to be about a loving allowance, thanks to PETA. That was her request, and a bunch of people backed her up on that. And then the other is about intuition. And so I'm going to be developing those in May, and I'm hoping to release those. These are my first ever courses, guys. My first ever courses. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm looking forward to the fun. It's a whole new frontier there. Got a lot of new things coming in May. I'm launching something that's not part of Insight Timer. Anyways, Carolyn, I hope that you can find that. If you still want me to give a synopsis, that might be a bit difficult because we really did go on a journey. But basically, since it's your first time, this is my Spirit and Soul Sundays live. And what I do is we start by tapping into our intuition, and then everybody votes on whether they want to go on what I call a spirit walk or a soul journey. Today we went on a soul journey. A spirit walk is where we go into our hearts, into our energy, and we go on a journey to meet our spirit guides. So we can visit with them, feel their love, learn from them, get whatever messages we might need. A soul journey is where we basically go to the same place and we go on a journey to meet what I call a lost soul fragment. And in my belief system, that little lost soul fragment occurred whenever. We probably have lots of them. People call it the shadow, but I just like to view it as a part of ourselves that we tucked away for safekeeping until we were ready to actually visit with it and hopefully reintegrate it someday. So that's what everybody just did. And that's what you'll do too when you go and rewatch the video. What else you guys saying before we wrap up? Sovereign, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Is that true, or am I just being forgetful? Linda, you are welcome. She had to abandon the journey. Your pup was demanding dinner. Yeah. Well, our critters need support too, right? Well, Linda, at least you can go rewatch the or re-listen to the video once I put it up. Yeah. Linda Mabella, yeah. Nikki, great question. Thank you for asking that. So, normally it's up within a couple hours, but I'm redoing some of my video, my video components. So actually, you know what? I can make sure that it's up in the next few hours. Is that cool? Yeah. I can continue work on the redos and the reworks. I'm reworking my intro and my outro to be more in alignment than they were when I started in December. Yep, yep, yep. Oh yeah, I have there's an easy way. I already did some work to make it an easier way. So yeah, there's a super easy way I can get it up tonight. So don't worry about that, my friend. Yes. Oh, thank you, Shelley. Yeah, me too. We cycled through. If you watch a video, you'll see at the beginning I cycled through a bunch of them, but I settled on this one. Just very, very calming. So I really, really love it. Wonderful. Does anyone else want to share? We are closing in on the end of the live. You're welcome, Peta. I'm so glad you enjoyed your journey today. And yes, thank you to all for sharing. Many, many blessings continue to flow in all of our directions. Yes. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate the hugs in my direction and as well as Marty's. What will be, will be. And I'm just sensing in if there is a final message for all of you. Yes, if you guys are new to me, please do follow so you get notified of when my next lives are. I'm off for a couple days and then I've got my loving guidance live on Wednesday. I do all my lives right now at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, US. Um, and I actually am thinking of doing more in May, but I haven't figured out when. I have a new format that I want to try, which I think is going to be either incredibly chaotic or really fun. Interesting options, right? All right, let me see if there's a final message for all of us. There's a big energy. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not getting anything clear, but it's a huge energy, my friends. Oh, there's the message. Remember that you are part of something very, very big. That each and every one of us is significant. That we matter. You matter. And they're sending so much love and encouragement. They really want you to know that your guides are available to you at any time you ask. And when you really open and accept their love and their guidance, then you realize that you're a beautiful eternal spirit, that you are a unique, special, and beautiful eternal spirit, that nothing, no one, even yourself, cannot sever the connection that you have with Source, with the divine, ultimately with love. And they encourage every single one of us to embrace our inner wisdom, the wisdom of our heart, as I like to call it, and really learn best ways to use the mind as a tool rather than as a leader, rather than as a conductor or yes, they're saying do your best to not follow where the mind goes. For the mind doesn't have the map, your heart does. The mind the mind has blinders, as Michael was speaking earlier. The mind only sees what it wants to see and can only see what is physical, what is only in the manifest. But the heart connects with other people. It connects with emotions. It connects with energy in such a beautiful and pure way. So they're sending us lots of love on the path to our hearts and continual encouragement and support. And thanks for all your love for Marty, my guy, my friends. I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate your support of me through this process. For anyone who wasn't here, I had a bit of a cry earlier when Thomas or somebody asked how Marty was. I think Linda did, didn't you? Or Thomas, I forget. Liz says, I listened to and experienced a beautiful journey that Greg took us on with a diffuser that turns different colors with an orange essential oil in it. Wow, the colors sound fun. With it sitting on the windowsill between a vase and yellow tulips and a vase of roses. Very cool. Peter can smell it, Liz. Yes, that's your candle. You're so funny. The various colors of the diffuser enable me to see the different colors on my journey. Love it. Great. All right, my friends. The grocery store summons me because Marty and I need some supplies. Thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful and appreciative of sharing this time and space with you guys today. I am so deeply appreciative of everybody's journey and all that you shared. This is one of my favorite lives to do, so I feel like I probably need to schedule some more of these because they're just so much fun. I will see you somewhere in the future, either at one of my next lives or at somebody else's, or perhaps in our beautiful group called Circle of Love, or maybe out in my socials, or wherever you wish to meet. Maybe in the ethers, maybe in the energy. Who knows? My dear, dear friends, take good care of your hearts tonight and today. Be well, be kind to yourself, be tender. Remember that you are special and beautiful and significant. And you are love, I am love, and we are love. Thank you, Kelsey. And thank you to everybody who donated today. I very, very much appreciate your sharing your abundance with me on the cycle of abundance and the flow and honoring that flow. All right. Blessings and hugs to all of you. Love you bunches. Have a great start to your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.